Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Step Up to Rise Up. I'm excited to begin yet another month. They go by so darn quickly, don't they? And this month, I'm excited to showcase kind of a 4-week series, if you will, on stories and how stories impact our life and the benefits of your not only sharing your story and telling your story, but also listening to others' stories. And that just fits in so perfectly with my word for this year, which is connection. Stories connect us in ways nothing else can. And so I'm truly excited for this topic this month. Stories can be transforming. And I'm going to be talking about all those things in the next several weeks. So in case we're meeting for the first time, I'm Linda Nelson. I'm a belief mindset transformation coach, and a lot of my work actually happens through stories and storytelling, and I'll explain more of that in the weeks ahead. So welcome, everyone. As I mentioned, of course my eye itches right as I'm trying to think here. Stories are something very, very powerful. Stories have been told long ago, ancient times. If you think about, back in the days of hieroglyphics and Egyptians, they told stories. Cavemen even go back there. They told stories on walls of caves, etc., by using symbols and all of those things. And obviously, we've progressed in our storytelling mechanisms through writing and on paper and recording in like a tape recorder or whatever. And now to even, digitalizing, you can transcribe or read into different kinds of apps that actually transcribe your story. So although telling the story stayed the same, how we do it is obviously changed a lot over the years. So I wanted to just give you an idea today about stories, and I've reflected on stories a lot because I actually became a life story coach several years back. I've always been fascinated by people's stories, and I do believe that if we took time to really hear one another's stories, our world would be a better place. We often walk down the street and we say, "Hey, how you doing?" Or "How are you?" And we secretly hope that they don't have a big response so that we can get on with our next task. And I keep imagining a world where we stopped long enough to hear one another's stories and really connect on a deeper level. So I've had this fascination since I was a child. Many of you know I grew up in a home of 6 children. I was the oldest of 6. And I've always been fascinated by people. And I'm sure it started back in those days when I would watch and observe different things with my brothers and sisters and parents as I was growing up. And then as I entered the world of work and my career, I really, as I think about it, have really always been involved in hearing people's stories. I was in charge of employment for a Fortune 500 company, and I heard people tell of their work experience or their stories about how they were prepared in their journey of work to apply for the job that was open with my company. I, at one time, worked on a church staff, helping prospective new members fold into the life of the church, and my job was to help them find a group and find a job so that they would be connected more deeply with the congregation. And so in that process, I was privileged to hear what we called their spiritual journeys or their stories, and how that could be used then to fold into the life of the church. And then, as I said, I spent a lot of time watching my brothers and sisters, and I often was the one that they went to tell their perspective on whatever recent life challenge was there in the family to get through. So I have been really listening to stories most of my life and have been really intrigued by people's stories. And what I discovered over time is that when you listen to other people's stories, you gain a perspective on your own story. I know that was true for me. If I stopped long enough to reflect about my life as a story and chapters in a story, I determined some things like my purpose and my passion. And, it's just a way for us to really examine our life in a deeper way. And so I really love the whole pausing and reflecting and thinking about the lessons that we learn as we go through our life challenges. And that's, I think, part of the reason I'm such a big proponent about finding time for silence and for writing. Journaling, as you know, is one of my passions. And our brains really like the clarity that comes from writing. And so writing our stories provides that clarity too. And it helps us move through our story so that we don't get stuck on the past and the past stories, and in fact, embrace who we're becoming or have become through our stories and our experiences, and also create a vision for our future and what we want that chapter to look like. So, as you can tell, I'm a big proponent of stories, and I've been blessed and fortunate to coach people in the Believe in You Academy, which you'll hear more about in the coming weeks, on their stories and how transformation can occur with that writing, reflecting, healing process that thinking about our life as stories can bring. So today I want to talk to you a little bit about the benefits that writing our story, first of all, writing it, and second of all, telling it, because there are obviously two components there. But today I want to talk a little bit about writing your story. And maybe you haven't thought about this before. And so I want to just encourage you in this month where we're examining our stories. I'm going to be giving you some journal prompts, some things to kind of tap into your mind so that as you're doing your quiet time, you can really think about your own journey, your own story, if you will. So here's some benefits for using the power of story in personal transformation. And these are like 10 ways I came up with that when you write your life story, when you take some time to really reflect on it, some benefits that you gain. The first one we've talked about, that's gaining clarity. Writing your story can really give you some clarity about who you are and where you've come from and what you want in the future. And so this clarity helps you make decisions and set priorities and determine your values and beliefs about what's important to you. So that's benefit number one. Number two is writing your story can really give you a sense of self-awareness. It can really bring into you how you become more self-aware and understand your strengths and your weaknesses and how they've been used in your life and have influenced your life to make the decisions and the choices that you made along the way. So that whole self-awareness is another benefit. And the more we're aware of ourselves, the more it helps us be aware of other people too. And then when we get curious about their stories and listening to them, we will gain perspective on our own. Number three, writing your story can be very transformative, as I said, but it can also be very healing. Most of us have had things that have happened in our past that's sometimes difficult to make sense of. And so getting some perspective through writing about that story can really bring some healing to our process and help us when we feel stuck or we continue to bump into those parts of our story that really need to be healed, that have been broken, if you will, in our past. And it helps you to gain closure then to move forward into your future. Number 4, it's a lot of personal growth to take a look at your story. When you write your story, you grow and develop as a person. And that's where true change comes into being, is when we grow as people. And so it'll help you identify some areas, some places that you're stuck perhaps, why you feel overwhelmed in some of your challenges that you face. It really does bring a lot of clarity and growth to your situation. I don't know what number we're on. I think 5 maybe. Authenticity. You connect with your authentic self when you take that time to pause and reflect and make sense out of your story. And so it helps you determine what makes you unique. It helps you move forward from a place of embracing who you are. And that may be one of the best benefits, the one I really like working with people the most on, when they can really embrace who they are and go forward with their authentic, unique, amazing self. Number 6, creativity. Writing your story can spark some creativity within you. It's an outlet sometimes for, our brains to really be creative about what has happened in our past and express yourself in some new ways. So it can really foster creativity. The next one, what am I on? I'm starting to lose track. 7 is the one, that I'm excited about this month, and that's connection. Writing our stories and sharing it is such a powerful connection. We spent some time on Saturdays Connect and Share with sharing some stories about deep friendships. And it just resonated deeply with those who were on the Zoom call to really see how we're more alike than different. And it gives hope in that we can get through the tough things of life knowing that someone else has done that too, and they can show us the way. And that is why we're created. God created us to go through these challenges so that we can help other people. So that's a huge benefit. 9 is empowerment. When you write your story, it can really empower you to take control of your life with your own story, and it can help you feel more confident and capable of creating the life you want. It can be a very empowering experience. And then number 10, and I will list all of these when I download the video for you, but number 10 is writing your story can leave a legacy. It can point those you leave behind to what was really important to you, and facts about you, and really knowing you and your story will leave that legacy and that wisdom to other people. So that was quick, and I will write those all down for you. But look for me to create some word prompts for you in the weeks ahead. We're going to delve in week 2 on, I may go out of order on this, but we're going to look at past stories, our present stories, and our future stories in this series. So I'm really excited to bring that to you. So that's all I have for today. I would love for you to share your comments below by just saying what you believe or think about this topic and what you're most excited about maybe, and I'll make sure that I cover that in the weeks ahead. So have a wonderful day, everyone. Look for more coming your way on this topic throughout the month, and I'm excited to learn more of each of your stories, and I'll be sharing mine and some other people's along the way this month. So look forward to that. Bye for now, everyone. Have a wonderful day, and really spend some time thinking about your story.